Hello everybody and welcome to today's vlog. I actually did not plan on recording today. I thought my MBE series was done, but apparently not because of what I'm doing today. Today I have my first MBE practice stimulated exam and I'm basically 50% in my course. I have 200 questions to do today, like a real MBE exam, and that's why I decided that I'm gonna record. One, because I wanna show you guys how you should be taking your practice exams, and two, because I also wanna discuss how you should be studying for the bar now that I have my program schedule. I've talked to my bar coach, we've had a sit down meeting, and we're gonna get into all of that. We're gonna learn from the mistakes I showed you guys. I'm gonna tell you guys what I'm gonna keep, all that. So first we're gonna get into this video and we're starting with a 200 question today. I'm gonna do it at my house. You're supposed to do it like the MBE, 3 hours for the first 100 questions. You take a 1 hour break and then you go back and you start your exam again, just as if it was test day. And that's exactly how I'm going to do it. The difference is you have the option to do it in your book or on your program. I'm gonna do it in my book because on the real MBE day, it will be in a book. So one thing I kind of dislike about like technology is that we do a lot of things online, but that's not how our test is. You need to be comfortable taking these tests the way the test would be. So I'm gonna use my book because this is how test day will be. It's not gonna be online. It's going to be on a book. So even though your program's always online, try practicing the way you know your real test would be. And that's exactly what I'm gonna do because, you know, I like to use highlighters. I like to use colored pens, but I can't do that for bar exam day. So today I'm only gonna give myself a black pen, a water bottle. Your water bottle is supposed to have no label on it when you take your test, but I'm gonna give myself water. I'm gonna practice sitting down for 3 hours, taking my 1 hour break and starting again. And then I'm gonna hit you guys with the tips that I'm gonna do that my bar prep coach told me. Use my book to practice for stimulated exams because the only thing that's online for the bar is your essay. Keep that in mind. Before I hop in, this is what it looks like, and I'm guessing this is how it will look on bar exam day. Gray, stop. Do not go beyond this point. This is where you have to bubble in your answers. I'm gonna rip this out. AM exam, your directions, and then straight into the questions. So see you guys soon. About to close my computer and time myself on my phone for a 3 hour timer. Wish me luck. Okay, you guys, look at my timer. I finished really 13 minutes early, but 12 minutes early right now. I'm about to take my 1 hour break, not including this 12 minutes that I've left, cause yeah. Alright, you guys, I'm about to get back to my test now to do my next 100 questions. I will say that I got to like question 40 something with ease, and then my brain was getting very tired until I got to like question 65, then I gained it back. Then it was like drained at question 90. So I'm glad that I'm at least having momentum for majority of the test. I will say that I actually do like that all the questions are different and I'm not on the same subject for a long time because that would bore my brain. And I feel like that's the problem with when I do questions for practice. Like, it's good because you're learning a lot at once for the knowledge, but if I do 100 questions at the same time of one subject, like for a real test, I would be bored. But I kind of like how you can go from property to words to contracts. I feel like that keeps my brain up. But you do have to find a way to fight through the mental fatigue, or even if you don't have like brain fatigue, just the boringness of doing all these questions for hours. So yeah, I'm kind of happy I did this test today. It kind of showed me a lot about myself. And we're about to do the next part. And then I'm going to tell you guys what's recommended by my bar prep professor, who's also in charge of my program at school. So let's get to these next 100 questions. It's like crazy when you know you have to go back for real. You just gotta do like a middle relaxation, like you relax, but you also relax knowing you need to go back to do questions. And that's what I did. So let's go log in again.
I'm not, don't give you joking now here for me. I ain't got it. I've been skinny.
Okay, everybody, so based on my exam I just finished, brain is done. I need to do better at evidence, constitutional law, and tell me how I got a good civil procedure score. Ain't no way. But I still need to work on that because I'm just not comfortable. But like Civ Pro is one of my highest scores. Actually, it is my highest score. Yo, there's no way. I still know I need to work on that because that is not my forte. And this is what I learned in FBAP, and that's why they kind of teach you how to funnel down and why you should concentrate on subjects you know will be heavily tested. If you see, I do study my flashcards, but I need to sit down, get a notebook, look at the subjects I struggle at, look at evidence, look at hearsay, write down the rule for hearsay, write down the exceptions. I need to get familiar. Same thing with con law, whatever I'm struggling with, I need to like start writing down the rule, start writing down the exceptions, start getting it in my head, repeating that out loud. That's what I learned from my FBAP program. So I just wanted to say that know what you need to work on and prioritize those questions, but also focus on learning those elements and rules. At least for me, I know I'm getting questions wrong for those subjects because I understand the concept, but I don't know those rules. So I need to go back and learn those rules. The scoring is good because it shows you where you're strong at, where you need to work at. And then I just need to go back in general for every subject and start working on what I lack to get better, even my good subjects to get a higher score. That way, if I miss something in my weaker score, I can at least have my good subjects overcompensating. Evidence and con law were my lowest questions, which is funny because you guys see me do better in my evidence videos, but this just kind of shows you that whatever you suck at, you need to keep like learning it. Like you might know it in that moment because you're going over the material fresh, but your brain's not retaining that, and I need to retain that. So I need to start really digging deeper into evidence and con law, and I feel like that will make me pretty decent at my MBE. I'm actually not mad at my scores overall because without diving deep into my errors, I am doing at least decent, but I need to start diving in deep into all my errors, and you guys need to do that too. Focus and create a funnel for the topics you suck at, get into the minor rules, get into the exceptions. They kind of teach you a lot of stuff during your FBAP program, so you guys will go over that. Another thing they told us to do is start with your course program questions. So for Barbary, that's Barbary Bank. Do those questions first, start with your black letter law, then start mixing your MBE questions in there so that you can understand. And then you can move on to adaptive bar when Barbary gives you all your questions. Something else that my bar prep coach recommended was that you start getting essays and timing yourself and be like 20 minutes. Issue spot and write something out. And I'm going to do that in combination with just still doing my flashcards, going over subjects for the day, maybe like going over contracts, going over just reading through flashcards and then doing a contracts essay and writing it out because you want to make sure that it's translating into practice. Just like when you do these multiple choice, you want to make sure it's translating into practice. Flashcards, he does warn against in a way because, you know, a lot of words. They do recommend that you make mnemonics, and that's what I'm going to do for my things that I don't remember, make mnemonics for like easements and for like trespassers, just things that will help me remember because I'm okay with remembering in general what I already know, but for those little nitty gritty things I suck at, I need mnemonics. So I recommend that if you don't retain a lot, use mnemonics. Use pictures, use abbreviations, use whatever it will take to get in your head. They always don't like flashcards, but I don't hate flashcards still, but I feel like it's because I do it on top of what is required. And then on top of it, we had a guest speaker come in and he recommended that you do Florida Bar Examiner's Bank for Florida multiple choice questions. And then if your school doesn't give you access to that, you look at the Florida Bar website and they have a bunch of questions from previous exams and you can go over it for FB subjects for multiple choice. And then he said that he used What's the Issue for his essay and that it gives you a checklist of your essay, and that's why people like What's the Issue, even though you guys know I did that. But what I'm going to do to make sure I at least focus on the priority of what matters is make sure I know everything on my What's the Issue essay outlines, and then my flashcards is just going to be extra things. And that's what the bar prep teacher really stressed to you, like make sure you know what's required. Everything else is extra, but make sure you have a foundation of what's required. And I'm going to make sure I use What's the Issue to have my foundation, and then everything will be extra. So make sure you focus more on what's required first. Don't be like me and just see me doing flashcards, but focus on what's required. Just know that I'm doing that too. The reason I'm doing flashcards right now is because I already wrote out my What's the Issue outlines, but I'm going to make sure I at least know everything on my What's the Issue outlines topic-wise because that's 90% most heavily tested, and then everything else is extra, and that's what they tell you. The bar, you can't learn everything, but you can learn what's needed to know. Oh, and then he said he used Adaptive Bar for MBE. See you guys soon.